is the word, and tarring you with all of the stuff that we've been tarring them. So is there anything we can do about that to fight that?
Well, I think what we were going to do is, apparently this is the fake declaration.
Yeah, we're going to sue Tom
Yeah.
Lawless and Hollywood Reporter for putting it out there.
Great.
Yeah. So
Great.
my key thing is, if I believed there was anything untoward about anything Keya was doing, I mean, I wouldn't be here, because he's a guy that I know that you trust, based on, I'm sitting in your living room with you and him, and you're with it. I mean, when we're talking about stuff, I mean, you're there. And so, my point is that when your associates get attacked, it's really an attack on you. So we really want to, stop that and get, without having to overwork you, make it clear that your position on things is known, and that's what's
great.
being taken care of.
That's great.
So I'm kind of, and also I've offered to help him manage all this stuff going on, and start slow, and if I can prove my value to you and to Keya, then I can, help out with more things. But we'll just.
Well, there certainly is a lot of stuff going
yeah,
on, as you said. I don't know what to worry about first.
Well, that's the thing. We don't want you to worry.
Yeah.
And so, as long as I think Keya can keep you informed as to generally what's going on and what's being done to keep things under control, you should. I mean, come on, you should be able to enjoy your days. I mean, you got a beautiful place, beautiful environment. Why not? Just enjoy
you're right
yourself
about
instead
that.
of having to sweat these. Well,
I
some of
just-
them are big deals, but.
It's just, I don't mind suing them for what we feel that we're entitled to. But when they start accusing us of the very thing that we're accusing them of, and they take things I've written and they get a copy of it somehow and then reprint it as though I've written it against him,
Right.
and I worry about how you fight something like that.
Yeah.
It has that legal
The
metal thing at the end of
notary
Yeah.
public
the
stamp.
notary thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was doing a declaration with Tom Lawless to sue Jerry Oliveras, because Jerry took the condo and the $890,000, and he wired $4.6 million. So there was all type, and the $300,000 bad check and all that.
Yeah.
But then he put my name in there as if I did something,
Yeah.
and I've never done anything. I mean, I told the police, I told the FBI, I said anybody could go through my records and his records and see I've never had
Yeah.
any type of
Yeah,
transaction
so
like that.
Here's one thing that we talked about we're going to do, is we're going to document your testimony on all these issues under oath. And so even on video if we have to. And so we've got you, giving your side of the story and getting everything settled. So here's what Stan said on this date. And so, and you can specifically deny that you ever said any of these things in that. Probably part of the declaration, I haven't seen it yet, but presumably if you choose to have me help out with these things, I'll be seeing it very soon. And there are probably some things in there that are true. I mean, that, Keya. Keya's helped you with some things, but the things that are false, we can specifically refute and say, these are the facts.
Right.
And that you declare under penalty of perjury that those are true and correct.
Right.
And so, and to me, if I had any concern about your mental capacity, I would be telling Keya, hey, come have a doctor talk to him and check his mental state, because I don't want to get involved with a situation where someone's going to say, hey, Rob Reynolds, what are you doing, trying to manipulate Stan? So I'm not asking you to do anything. I'm here working for you. So you've got cases, you have things you want to accomplish. My job is to, and understanding that, Keya's he knows kind of everything that's going on. So really, so that you don't have to deal with it. I mean,
Okay.
I'd like to come see you every so often, just so
By all means.
we're keeping in touch, and you know that I know who the boss is.
Mhm.
But I think Keya is, up to speed on everything. And obviously, he's a smart guy. He's got strategies and tactics to try and deal with these things that I think will be effective. And so,
Not just smart, but incredibly smart.
Well, I just worry when I see that they're now attacking you by accusing you of everything we're accusing them
Jerry
of.
and Max and
And
Tom.
I
yeah.
wonder how you handle a thing like that.
Yeah. Well, really, though, an attack on him, it's meant, those people aren't concerned about Keya. They're trying to get to you. So at war, you attack all the supply lines, all the chains. So, they want to go after him because, just if we went to some people walking down the street, and both my grandparents lived to 97. So, I was with them up until
Up to the age of 97.
Right.
Oh wow, both his
both of
parents.
them.
Both my grandparents.
were
both my
97.
grandparents. And I worked in the same town they lived in, so I was with them all the time. So, but if somebody was coming down the street and I just told them the story, hey, there's a 95-year-old guy that lives in this house, and there's some 30-something-year-old guy that's managing all of his affairs. Isn't that awful and terrible? They might say, oh, that's awful and terrible. This guy's being taken advantage of by this 30-something-year-old. But now let's get to the facts. Why don't you come in, sit down, and talk to the 95-year-old and ask him yourself what's going on? And then they come in and find out, okay, Stan knows what's going on. In fact, I just watched Deadpool last night, and I saw you in the movie, and I just saw the last Avengers 2 weeks ago, and you're the same guy I saw turn around driving the bus. So, and I'm going to see Deadpool 2 tonight. My son I was babysitting my granddaughter last night, so my son could go see it.
Oh, is
so,
Deadpool 2 out?
Deadpool 2 is out.
Oh
Yeah,
wow.
I'm
Rob, who created Deadpool, his name's Rob, is coming to see us in like a week.
Okay.
The creator of Deadpool, yeah.
So the thing to me is, when I met you, I had this vision of who you are in my mind, and you're the same guy. So you've got control of your faculties, and you know what's going on. But you're 95 years old. You shouldn't have to stress out about all these lawsuits and deal with them on your own. So I think to me, it makes complete sense. You're fortunate to have somebody come alongside you and say, hey, let me help you deal with this stuff. Hear him kind of reiterating all the stuff that Jerry did. You didn't, as you sit here right now, you never gave him permission to take that money, to buy that condo, to do any of this stuff. So, to me, that case is pretty cut and dried. And what we want to do is really jump into it and put a lot of action on it. So maybe Jerry realizes that he needs to relent and back up from what he did. Because, frankly, he could face criminal action for what he did. He stole from you. While usually it's often whenever there are lawyers involved, the police tend to say, it's a civil matter, because then the government doesn't have to pay for chasing down bad guys. But there are times when stuff gets bad enough where if you hand over information to a detective, especially if there are other things he's done they don't like, then they may be willing to take action.
Well, Detective Nunez and Detective Sullivan and Detective Kim, these guys are actively working on the Jerry case. We haven't yet, done everything we're supposed to for the Max case criminally, but for the Jerry case, we started it, and they're constantly doing research on it. So, but Stan, just on the record, is there anything that I've done that you don't like or that you feel?
I was joking.
Yeah.
And incidentally, one thing about me, which bothers me very much, I think I have my full faculties. I think I can think as sharply or as quickly as any man. Nobody is going to be taking advantage of me because I don't think well or.
Yeah.
However, My hearing is terrible.
Okay.
I've lost a lot of hearing. My eyesight is terrible. I couldn't sign that notary stuff. They have to put their finger, sign above my finger.
Sure.
So between my hearing and my sight, I am not in a position to fight back the way I should.
Right, sure.
But I just want you to know,
Yeah.
and I could be wrong, maybe I'm fooling myself, but I think I am in full possession of my faculties. I think as clearly and sharply as I did when I was 30.
Yeah.
It's just I don't hear and see that well.
Yeah. Well.
And by the way, I could confirm that and
Yeah.
attest to that fact
Yeah,
that
yeah.
seeing Stan every day and talking to him,
Yeah.
he is very, very, very much sharp and 100% on top of everything. Better than anyone I know. I mean, he
Yeah.
like behind you is the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, Persian scholar, and he has memorized all of these poetry. I could read it like. Here, should I show him one of them, Stan?
Sure, go
Let me just show you like just one. I'll read you one verse, and then you see he's memorized the entire.
One that I know.
Yeah. I'll try to do one that you know, but he knows most of the book.
Let me just say one thing, Stan. For you to make that comment, make sure you show me one that I know. That's strong evidence that you're with it.
Oh,
See,
really?
don't you think? I mean, for you to, you're processing the humor part, and you're about to demonstrate.
That's very
some
good.
stuff.
You're a good psychiatrist.
So let me I'll just randomly read one. Dreaming when dawn's left hand was in the sky.
Methought I heard a voice within the tower cry, "Awake, my little ones, before and drink the cup before life's liquor and the cup run dry."
Beautiful.
Nice.
And as the cock crew,
Those who stood before the tavern shouted, "Open then the door. You know how little while we have to stay, and once departed may return no more."
wow.
The wow isn't in there.
And
All right, he's heard enough.
Yeah. No.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, no,
All
I-
right.
That's the idea.
all right.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
of a sudden we'll be out of no time.
So, I mean, I think, so you need people to be your eyes and ears, and it's convenient for you to have somebody be your voice, so you don't have to, and so,
Absolutely.
in essence, but what we'll do is all this stuff's gonna be written down. And so, we'll have to read it to you and make sure, do we have this 100% accurate? And then when we do, then, in essence, we publish the truth about all these things, about all these cases,